Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. I'm a professional hair and makeup artist who specializes in simplifying beauty tips and tricks to help you learn easy ways to elevate your routine like a pro. And if that is something that interests you, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so that you can continue to learn easy to follow beauty tips including makeup, hair care, skincare, nail care, all the things and everything in between. Today we're going to be talking about something that I just finished teaching a masterclass on for my customers. Really help them learn because a lot of times it's not necessarily what we're doing right with our makeup, but it's more so what we're doing wrong and how we can fix those things. 9 times out of 10, we don't even notice that we're doing these small little things wrong. Tweak it just a little bit, it can really take your makeup to the next level. So if you are interested in learning more about common makeup mistakes that you may be making, how to fix them, and easy ways to adjust your makeup routine so that it looks that much better, be sure to like this video if you haven't already. Send it to a friend who may be struggling with their makeup and make sure that you have them subscribed too so that they don't miss out on any of the fun. Without further ado, let's jump right into these common makeup mistakes. The first common makeup mistake that I see every single time, almost always whenever I'm doing a one-on-one virtual beauty lesson or even in-person makeup lesson, or when I'm chatting with my customers, you are not prepping your skin correctly. You may be over prepping the skin. Makeup is only going to look as good as your skincare. I don't care if you have a 12-step skincare routine at night. If you're not at least doing the basics with your skin prep during the day, your makeup is not going to look good. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy or super complicated. I like keeping it really simple when it comes to my skin prep. So the very first thing that I do will make sure that my skin is properly exfoliated. I personally do exfoliate twice a week with a chemical exfoliant. I also use a face cleansing tool to help exfoliate off dead skin, because that is probably the biggest reason if your makeup is looking patchy, if it's enhancing texture, you're just not exfoliating well. And as we get older, our skin turnover rate slows down, meaning that we're not shedding skin as fast as we once were. So our skin isn't regenerating quickly. You need to help the skin out just a little tiny bit. One of my favorite products to use, these facial radiance pads from SEINT IIID. They're super duper simple, very great for sensitive skin, because especially as a professional makeup artist, I have a lot of clients who have very sensitive skin who maybe don't have an actual skincare routine, maybe have never exfoliated their skin a day in their life. If your skin is feeling like a crocodile, it's your sign that you need to exfoliate your skin. So what I love about these two different sides to it, so the first side is this more textured side that I like to use to really get into those hard to reach areas, like in my nose, anywhere that you may have a little bit of extra texture or flaking, and you want to be gentle with it too. Let the pad do the work because it has the ingredients like lactic acid, which is a gentle exfoliant, in it to help to exfoliate off the skin, and the way that it's made is going to help exfoliate your skin the right way. So the textured side is for skin that has never been exfoliated, skin that maybe you need to exfoliate, or maybe on those drier patches, and being very gentle, doing soft circular motions there. And then you have a smoother side. The smoother side is for more sensitive skin, for skin that maybe like mine, that I exfoliate pretty frequently. I don't really need the textured side. I need that smooth side to just quickly run through my skin. It's going to help to get rid of any dirt, any product buildup from the night before. You can honestly use this in the morning as a replacement to cleansing your skin. I personally find that cleansing my skin for me in the morning strips my skin of its moisture. So using something like this that helps to hydrate the skin while also exfoliating and cleansing is going to be awesome. Then I follow up with a skin prep mist. This has been such a game changer for me. I'm really lazy when it comes to doing my skincare in the morning. I am a little bit more into it at night, but in the morning, I'm just trying to keep it so simple and so basic. And I feel like a really big trend that we're seeing right now is products that do multiple things. And this is not an exception. This is the Plush Prep Mist. And what I love about this is it is literally liquid skincare. Instead of you using toners, serums, moisturizers, and just taking on the skincare, if you're not gonna wear makeup that day, go for it. Please do all the skincare in the morning. But when you're gonna wear makeup, if you have too much on your face, that is where the slip and slide occurs. So something like this that is so simple, it has all the ingredients you need. It has caffeine to help plump up your skin, hyaluronic acid to help hydrate the skin. It has botanical extracts that are gonna help to soothe the skin, soothe redness on the face as well. So if you have any redness, it's gonna help to calm that down. Let it dry completely. I let it dry for at least a minute before I do anything else. This is basically your serum, your toner, and your moisturizer all in one. It has everything you need. You don't need very much of it, and it'll give you this beautiful skin-like glow and make your makeup apply like butter. This for me is a non-negotiable. Even if your makeup has SPF in it, it is not enough. Unless if you're putting on a tablespoon of foundation or BB cream on your face, you're not putting on enough. So I will always go in with an SPF, and I make sure that my SPF is not too greasy, not too hydrating. And when I'm wearing makeup, I want to make sure that I don't have too much hydration on my face, but just enough hydration. It's a fine balance between both. So making sure that you don't do too much and that you don't use things that have a lot of oils and stuff like that in it that's going to break apart your makeup. makeup, gonna help your makeup last that much better. I like to go in with the Beauty of Joseon Korean sunscreen. Absolutely love this stuff. They have different formulas. They have one that if you're more on the oilier side, it's a water-based one. This one is my personal favorite because I find that it's not too greasy, right amount of hydration, and I feel like it works well for dry skin as well, giving them just enough hydration so that their skin is not feeling dry, because you want to make sure that you are at least hydrating enough. And if you use the prep mist and then this on top, let it dry for like 5 minutes before you put on your makeup is gonna glide on like butter, have this beautiful glow, and you know that your skin is ready to apply makeup when you touch it and it no longer feels sticky or greasy. If it feels sticky or greasy, I would recommend using something like a blotting sheet just to tap off the excess moisture in those areas where you may have applied a little bit too much before going in with your makeup. Too much skin prep is going to make your makeup slip and slide. The second common mistake that I see way too often, especially for my brown skin girlies, using the wrong shade. This is why I'm so big on helping people with their perfect color match. As a professional makeup artist, one thing that I do when I am color matching someone, I look at every single part of their skin. I'm not just looking at your face, I'm looking at your body. If your hands are showing, I'm looking at your hands. If you have different discolorations like melasma, if you have sunspots, if you have aging spots, if you have lighter spots on your face, I'm looking at all those different tones and I am choosing shades that are going to best match all the different colors on our face, because our face is not one flat, simple color. It's multi-dimensional, and especially women of color, we have so much more skin distractions and colors on our face, so we can't just be matched to one simple color. So a couple of signs to look for whenever you're wearing the wrong shade. Number one, if you have a shade that is too light, it is going to enhance skin texture. It is not going to cover anything at all on your face. It is going to make any distractions like dark circles, acne spots stand out a lot more. What you want to do is you want to first apply it. I like doing it on my jawline. I can match my face and my neck at the same time, and I want to make sure that it's all cohesive right there, because this is the main area that most people see. I will apply some on and I start blending it out, because when you first apply a color, depending on how pigmented it is or concentrated it is, it may be too much. So you want first apply a little bit on your jawline, then you want to blend it out with either your fingers or a brush. And if you're starting to see that it's showing texture, that means that color is too light. If you're seeing that it's starting to separate, that it is not blending in better, that it is showing still distractions, that means it is too light and you need to shade up. Now, if a shade is too dark, which this happens a lot, people get matched to the wrong shade. When you apply it, yes, it will give you the coverage that you want, but it may look a little bit greasy. It may even be kind of orange when you blend it out. And you're gonna notice it's not blending into everything else. It stands out from the rest. Sure, you can mix that darker shade with the lighter shade and probably make your perfect shade. But the way that you find your best shade is getting a professional color match. I have a color match form down below that I can help you find your best shades and how you're gonna know that this shade is gonna work for you. When you first apply it, it may look a little bit off. It may look a little too dark or a little bit too yellow or whatever the case may be. But when you blend it in, it is gonna blend into the skin. It's gonna almost melt into the skin, and it is going to add the coverage that you need. Now, there are times where I will recommend something like a darker foundation shade or concealer shade to add coverage just to the areas that need it, like dark circles specifically or hyperpigmentation. And then there's going to be times where I'm going to recommend you using a lighter shade in lighter spots of your face. For example, the center of our face can get really, really light sometimes, or our forehead, and just adding that helps to add that dimension in there and helps to blend everything out. Especially if you're using a foundation shade all over that may be just a little tiny bit too dark, using a lighter shade to help balance that out is going to help give you the best color match. The third most common mistake that I see, especially when it comes to cream makeup, I see this even with liquid makeup too, using too much, over applying the makeup. When it comes to cream makeup, specifically the cream makeup that I use, which is this one right here, this is a cream wax formula. This stuff is highly concentrated. You see these little tiny tins, and you're probably used to cream makeup that is a little bit thinner, it's a little bit sheerer, it's not giving as much coverage or payoff as something like this that's a little bit stiffer, because it's a cream wax formula. More color payoff, long where it is water resistant, sweat resistant, is going to be really concentrated. You're seeing this little tiny tin and you're like, man, there is no way on earth that this little tin is going to last me that long. You don't need very much. Dabbing into their tin 12 times before they go ahead and put it all over their face. And now they're smearing this color all over their face and probably have way too much color, and their brush is all gunked up, and now you just have too much makeup on. This is something that happens a lot. Start with less, always add more. This is the rule for anything, any product you're testing out for the first time. Even if you used a formula similar to it before, start with less. Get to know the formula first, then you can always add on, especially with cream makeup. Cream makeup makeup is buildable. Cream makeup doesn't set by itself, so you have more play time with it. It's a lot more beginner friendly too. Start with less, add more if you need to. Use a large fluffy brush to lightly blend out the excess. It's gonna pick up extra product. I like using a clean brush because that's gonna make sure that I'm not adding more product onto it. Another one of my favorite ways to pick up that excess product, if you have way too much, use a damp beauty sponge. This is gonna pick up the excess. It is going to help make sure that your makeup looks blended, that it doesn't look or feel sticky or greasy. If you touch your face and it feels sticky, or you feel like you can almost feel it on your face, that means you're using way too much. Start with less, always add more. Use a sponge when in doubt. Another fun little hack that you can do if you ever accidentally tap in because maybe you got distracted or weren't paying attention to how many times you tapped into your product. I like to tap off the excess on the palm of my hand like this, and I will get all of that extra color payoff off on my hand, and then I will apply it. Make sure you wash your hands afterwards though, because if not, you're gonna have makeup all over you. Common mistake number 4, specifically with cream makeup, really if you want your makeup to last all day. I don't care what formula you're using that says that it is long wear. I don't care if you're using Stay Lauder double wear foundation. You need to set your makeup. You need to be using setting powder. You need to be using setting spray. These 2 products are gonna literally lock in your makeup, and it's going to seal everything in, and it's gonna make it budge. There's a certain way that you wanna do this. You don't wanna be all willy-nilly, you don't wanna be all crazy, taking a large brush and dusting powder all over your face really quickly and calling it a day. You wanna be precise with this. You wanna make sure that those trouble areas, maybe around your mouth where you tend to get creasing, under your eyes where you tend to get creasing, around your nose, on your pores, anywhere that you get sweaty, that you are focusing there first. Wherever you apply your setting powder down first, that is gonna have the most product, meaning that it's gonna have the longest wear there. So you want to make sure that you're putting that in the areas where maybe you get the sweatiest, where maybe the makeup tends to break apart first. That is where you want to apply powder. I like to do setting powder first so that I can get rid of all that shine. I touch my face. If it's feeling kind of sticky, that means that I probably applied too much makeup and that I need to put some kind of powder to help absorb the excess. There's 2 different powders you can use. You can use a pressed blotting powder that helps to absorb excess oil while still giving you that beautiful glow. So this is gonna be perfect for my dry skin girls. My dry skin girls probably heard me say you need to put powder on. You're like, I put powder on, I look like the crepe keeper. Don't worry, using a powder that helps to just absorb the excess oil but adds hydration back into the skin and giving you a beautiful glow, that is gonna help you to have that beautiful long wearing makeup without getting that cakiness. If you have more oily skin, maybe using a loose powder is gonna help. I like using a powder puff for this. You can also use a brush if you want to. It really is preference at the end of the day. I just shared in my beauty tools video the difference between using a brush and a puff for applying your powder. Really, at the end of the day, it comes down to preference, but know that the puff is gonna apply more powder. Then I like to do setting spray on top because setting spray, it's not necessarily required, but I like setting spray because it helps to melt down the powders. Use something that maybe is a little bit too drying for you. It's gonna melt down the powder, it's gonna rehydrate the skin, lock everything together, make all the makeup blend together in one. Then if you're super oily or maybe you look a little bit greasy because you applied too much setting spray, put a little bit of powder just in the center of your face, forehead, around the nose to just help to give a more airbrushed finish. You can also use a blotting sheet to just tap off the excess oil. But making sure that you set your makeup is gonna help your makeup last all day long. The last and final mistake that I see so often is going to make or break your makeup. This is like if you find that you're watching a tutorial, you're watching a makeup look and you're like, I do it and then it looks like I have nothing on my face. It could be one of 2 reasons. Either you're not applying enough product, which happens often, or you're over blending your makeup, which is most likely what it is, because we have been taught that we need to blend our makeup. But there is such thing as over blending the makeup. If you want to keep the makeup where it is, don't be doing circular motions. Circular motions moves the product around. It's gonna diffuse it and make the makeup basically spread out. Dabbing, especially with a brush that's fluffy, is gonna help keep the makeup in place, but then you're still blending out that line. I like going back and forth in a dabbing motion just to go ahead and blend softly, contour, or my eyeshadow, or whatever the case may be. Using a brush that is too dense and doing large circular motions can make it look crazy, especially eyeshadow. I see this too often where people are like, my eyeshadow just doesn't look like your eyeshadow because you're using a super dense brush and I'm using a fluffy brush. That fluffy brush helps to soften the look. The dense brush is gonna apply a lot of product, which again, if you watch my brush tool video, I talk all about density of brushes, why it matters, and how you can figure out which brush is gonna work best for you based off density and the type of coverage and finish that you want. You want to use a softer, fluffier brush. You want to use dabbing motions to place the product first. Get the placement down first before you blend anything out. If you're using a brush to apply your makeup especially, it's going to do the work for you. So not only are you placing the product down, but now you're also blending. And then the final thing that you need to do at the end, do one final blend to make sure all the colors are blending together. So you can do a stamping motion to help blend in the lighter colors with the darker colors. Or if you feel like your blush is too heavy, using something like your foundation brush and just stamping that on top, fuse everything and melt everything together. That is going to give you more airbrush finish. When in doubt, use a makeup sponge. That's going to help. Having a light hand, that is a biggie, because I see too often people doing this where they're holding their brush like this. You want to hold it towards the back so you have a softer hand. You have more control, and make sure you're holding your brushes straight, exactly where you want the tip to point to where you are trying to place the product. And that is gonna help you so that you have a more polished and beautiful and airbrushed finish. Let me know down below if you've ever made any of these makeup mistakes. And if you're still struggling with makeup, let me know down below what your biggest makeup struggles are so that I can cover them in our next video. Be sure to check out down below in the descriptions for all of the links for different ways that we can connect on other social media platforms. If you're interested in learning more about my makeup masterclasses, you can either comment down below or you can message me over on Instagram, and I'd be glad to tell you more about that. And I hope that you found this video helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next one.